week on Top Travel, Yanez forges ahead in his quest to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Last week he made it as far as second base camp, despite the cold and challenging altitude. Now he's about to reach his final camp before summiting the highest freestanding mountain in the world. Later we check in with Jeannie in Zanzibar. After taking on the locals at their favorite board game, she learns more about the Spice Islands history and explores its streets by scooter.
Kilimanjaro, with its 3 volcanic cones, Kibo, Mawenzi and Shira, is a dormant volcanic mountain in the Kilimanjaro National Park. It measures 5,895 meters above sea level. After quite a tiring climb up the Great Eastern Wall, you get to a point where you have the most majestic viewpoint of the great mountain behind you, and in front of you there's just cloud. It was spectacular.
Oh yes, look at the beautiful glaciers there.
That is amazing. Is that where we're going to be summiting?
Yes, but the other side, you cannot see from here.
Gotti, I remember seeing pictures of this great mountain where the entire top was covered by snow.
Yeah, it was really covered by snow. 20 years ago, it was really covered. Even here, you can't see the black stone like this. All place it was white. Even when you're climbing here, sometimes you use map to know where we go. But now you can see the way, you can see the road, so it's easier now. But as you see the Hem Glacier there, it's very thin. But before it was really bigger, and part of the Hem Glacier also. You can see the part of stone and glaciers. It was all full of glaciers. But now, because of global warming, it looks like that.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible and very bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It really is a depressing thought that in 10 or 20 years' time, if or when I ever climb this mountain again with my son, there'll probably be no snow left up there, or no glaciers left. Day 4. With the Heim Glacier below us, it was also the first time we could actually see the snow-capped mountains. You know, we've all seen pictures of Kilimanjaro, and it's the snow-capped mountain with beautiful glaciers. But in reality, when you look at it, there's not a lot of snow left, and there's hardly any glaciers. The last 2 days, the environment becomes so hostile. All you see are rocks, sand, shale. There's no sign of animal life. It looks like something that's out of a sci-fi movie, like you're walking around on the moon. It's completely desolate. It's an eerie feeling. Finally arrived at Barafu camp. Now in Swahili, Barafu means ice, and you can see why. Nothing really grows here. It's icy cold, it's inhospitable, it's hostile. There's an ever-present cold gale blowing through here. We've had to fill up with water 12 kilometers from here at our last camp, because there's no water here, there's nothing. For now, I need to put my legs up and rest, because tonight, we tackle that bad boy. If you look at the camp, it's perched on a ridge. So you've got to familiarize yourself with your surroundings, because at night you could literally walk off a cliff. You're so high up now, you're above 4,800 meters, that you can see where you are, and you can see where you're going. Oh, Yanez, don't stand up too quickly. Just been notified by my guide. They're going to wake us up at an insane hour. We need to catch some rest. I have a problem with that because the sun's still shining. It's only 5:30. I'm not used to going to bed with the sun up. I'm gonna have to give it a go. I don't know how I'm gonna switch this mind off of mine. Anyway, what do I say to you now? Good night, good day, something like that. Who goes to sleep at 5 o'clock? I mean, I struggle to fall asleep at 10 p.m. But to go to sleep at 5 p.m., my body clock doesn't work that way. Yet you know, Yanez, you've got to go to bed at 5 p.m. because you need the sleep. Because they're going to wake you up at 11 o'clock. At 11 p.m. they're going to wake you up and you're going to climb from 11 p.m. till 6 a.m. You're going to climb through the night.
Stay tuned, Yanez's journey gets even more grueling, but the incredible views and amazing sunsets inspire him to push on through to the summit.
It's 11 p.m. at night. I haven't been able to sleep because I've just been going over all the facts. Am I going to make it? Are we going to be able to do this? What I do know is we've got a mammoth task ahead of us. We have to climb 1,214 meters. That's roughly 6 kilometers. We haven't been above 5,000 meters yet, and I know the human body doesn't really know how it's going to react above 5,000 meters. Are we going to get altitude sickness? Aren't we going to get altitude sickness? Anyway, according to the Kilimanjaro National Park, only 41% of people that attempt this mountain actually make it to the summit. That's not a lot. At Gilman's Point, which is only 300 meters from the top, people turn around. Even further up at Stella Point, which is only 200 meters from the top, people are turning around. I know I've got a strong team of guys around me. We're all very headstrong, and hopefully our stubbornness will pull us through. I looked up at the stars and it was a perfectly clear night. And I thought, oh, we've been blessed. We've been so blessed. All of us were like, oh, we've got the best night ever. Not a breath of wind, which is so unusual because when we arrived there, it was so windy. But we woke up at 11 p.m., not a breath of wind, clear night. And for a moment, I thought, I'm completely overdressed. In fact, my sound guy, David, decided that he was too warm, so he left his windbreaker at home. Stupidest movie ever made. This is where our Kilimanjaro experience just took a 180-degree turn. The moment we got over the first ridge, the wind hit us at 80 kilometers an hour, the coldest, iciest wind you've ever felt. That night, I don't have words to describe what we went through that night. I don't have words to describe it, and we don't have footage to describe it. That's how cold it was. When you reach Stella Point, which is a bit of a false top because it's still 200 meters and 45 minutes walking from the real summit, you're in the moment. You know you're going to make it now, but you forget about everything you've been through, all the trials and tribulations. You just stand there, and it's almost like you are in your cleanest, purest form. Stand there as brothers that have been through all of this, and you just look out in the hope of seeing the best sunrise of your life. That walk, that 45-minute walk from Stella Point to Uhuru Peak it's 200 meters, but it's the hardest walk you'll ever do. But you have what's left of the glaciers on your left-hand side. You've got great views down below and the crater on your right. But your focus is just end, end, end. When you finally reach the summit after what is the hardest day or the hardest night you'll ever experience, it's almost like you leave everything behind you. You're completely in the moment. You're overwhelmed by emotions, but at the same time you have perfect clarity because you're standing on the roof of Africa, everything else is below you, and it gives you that moment of realization. Everything is so clear, your thoughts are so clear, your mind is completely clear. It's a feeling of complete awesomeness. I don't know why I'm so emotional, but this whole journey has just been a roller coaster of ups and downs. My sound guy said it best. Last night was the worst night he's ever had. Today is the best day we've ever had. It's climbing Kilis. It's not a physical thing. It's purely mental. And thanks to God's will, we all managed to make it to the top. It's an experience of a lifetime. I'm never going to forget this.
No problem. You're very strong.
Thanks, guys.
You're very strong guys.
Thank
Very
you.
strong guys, South African people. Very strong man. Congratulations, man. Yes. We are in the top of Africa. Yeah.
The one person I wanted to speak to was my son, because he's in my life, he's my everything. And he'd always wanted to climb Kilimanjaro, and he'd learned about it at school, and he's flown over the mountain, and it's his mountain, you know. So I thought, what are the chances of there being cell phone signal on top of the highest mountain in Africa? And guess what? I had full signal. Hello, Matisse. Hello, Matisse.
Yeah?
I made it to the top of Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
That's incredible, eh? Your favorite mountain.
Yeah.
It was so emotional. I can't believe we reached the top. But all the time, I was thinking about you. I promise you, I was thinking about you all the time. I love you, eh? Just, for me, that made it all worth the while. We were all emotional. Everyone had tears in their eyes. I've never been like this, but I couldn't stop crying. Every time I thought about something emotional, I just started crying and sobbing. I was overwhelmed. Not one of us will ever forget that. And I think we'll always be in each other's lives because of what we accomplished on Kilimanjaro. No matter where we end up in the world, we'll always be friends, and we'll always be able to share what we went through climbing up Kilimanjaro. And when we stood at the top and we kissed that sign, and when we hugged each other, it's the best.
When we come back, we catch up with Jeannie in Zanzibar. She's exploring Stone Town and looking for a local to teach her the island's favorite game.
I had no real expectations of Zanzibar. What I do know about it is that many couples from South Africa go there to get married, and Freddie Mercury was born there. The name alone conjures up images of spice markets, palm-fringed beaches, white-sailed dhows, and beautiful turquoise waters. Luckily, the reality doesn't disappoint, and Zanzibar offers a beaching experience par excellence. Most people always stay at those luxurious resorts along the coast, but we've done things like that quite often, so we wanted a very different yet extremely authentic experience. So what better than to stay in the heart of Stone Town?
Hello, good afternoon to you. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Thank you
I like
very
the
much.
bag. It's very nice. You travel light. Can I assist you? Very
I travel
good.
well. Thank
Very
you.
good. You're welcome, please.
The hotel was only about 10-15 minutes away from the airport, and when I got there, I thought, thank goodness, I need this. It was absolutely glorious, incredibly luxurious, and just, it had this Moroccan, Arabic, African feel to it. It was a whole blend of everything. Couldn't quite put my finger on the style, but I knew I was going to enjoy it. There's definitely Asian, Moroccan influences here. What is it exactly?
Well, you have a look at the tiles. This is definitely an English influence. You have a look at woodwork. This is Indian culture. When you have a look at the shapes and decorations of the door, this is Arabian influences. You have a look at the four-poster beds. This is Swahili elements.
What was it before it was a hotel?
It used to be an Arab-owned house for so many centuries, starting from 14. Then it used to be British residential houses. Then after the revolution, it was Chinese doctors' residence house under the Ministry of Health.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
Okay, this is your room.
It's got a
Come on,
great view.
Don't worry, it's just a practical joke. But it is a hotel day bed for everyone to come and enjoy. You can use it to enjoy fresh breeze, watch the
It
doors
is very
passing by,
beautiful.
and sundown also. And by the way, here is your room.
You've got a sense of humor.
And finally, this is your room.
Oh, hello, beauty. I love the combination of the wood with the tiles and the patterns and the design. Everything in here is just perfect.
Oh, yeah, actually, this is an infusion of Arab and Swahili culture, all in one, the type of beds and the furnishing. And by the way, over here, and Jenny, this is the pierce of the resistance. That's why people come to this place.
Oh, wow. This is absolutely heavenly. We've got these old dhows just crossing this beautiful ocean. And this, it looks like something out of a Moroccan dream.
Now, Jenny, I'm going to leave you to your room. Please enjoy it.
Thank you so much. That's exactly what I intend to do. Woo! Hello, Zanzibar. There's beach, there's this luxurious hotel, and then there's city, all in walking distance. What a pleasure. There's a whole culmination of so many different influences. I mean, in the 15th century, the Swahili government was overthrown by the Portuguese, and thereafter the Omani Arabs came in, and they were responsible for building all of these beautiful stone Arabic homes, which is why we now have Stone Town.
Hello. Welcome. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome. Just a good side there.
Hello.
I give for good price don't worry, business school.
What is this?
This is bow game.
A bow game?
Bow game.
Oh, bow game.
Yes.
Apparently it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I can learn.
Yeah.
Do you have a smaller one? That one's a little bit too big.
Here, yes, the different small one.
Shopping is a serious problem to me. In fact, I suffer from a disease called CSS, compulsive shopping syndrome. I'm going to be the bow champion today.
Yes, thank you very much. Again, thank you very much. Yes.
Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Bao is the traditional East African board game. Actually, bao is the Swahili word for wood. Hello.
Hello, how
How are you, Ali? Jeannie, nice to meet you.
Me too, Jeannie.
Would you perhaps teach me how to play bao?
Of course, why not? If you're clever to play, and then I can teach you.
I think I'm clever.
Yeah? But before
But we'll
that,
see.
you should go and take some coffee and bring it to the car here, and then we can play.
Coffee?
Yeah, sure. Kahawa. We call kahawa.
Kahawa. I'll
Yeah.
get it. This very kind gentleman who had offered to teach me the game insisted that I get a coffee first, just to fit in. If you want to roll with the big dogs, it's how you do it. So I went to go and get us both coffees. They were in these beautiful glass, little, almost Chinese-looking cups. But I like a mug with a handle on it because it was boiling. And the coffee was really strong.
Wow.
Hey, one kahawa coming up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you, Jeannie. La santé.
What is the tradition of playing while you drink
Coffee.
the coffee?
Coffee and game.
Yeah.
It's make your brain to work very smart. Same like when you play chess and then you have a Bacardi
Yes.
or screwdriver and then you started talking and playing
Okay,
and
so the
cheating. But here there's no cheating. Here normally you use a brain, calculation.
The moves look so random, and because they're going so fast, it's very difficult for me to pick up what the rules of the game are.
It is work. When you listen, you understand it. And because you are the student, so you have to learn slowly, slowly. There is a student game bao. They play 2-2,
Yes.
but this is official Swahili bao. They used to play in East Central Africa, on the coast of Africa. This is one of the best game, bao game.
The rules of the game have never been written down. They've been passed down from generation to generation in the oral tradition. So I don't think anyone really knows the rules. What is the point of the game?
Protect always yourself, not to be taken. The best point, to win the game, if you finish to take my first roll holes. When it is empty, it means you win the game.
How does the boa game work? I'd love to tell you. I know that I was taught. I know that I even played a game and lost. But if you have to ask me now how to play it, I wouldn't have a clue. To be entirely honest with you, I was just copying what he was doing and winging it the whole way.
So I played the last one, and then I'm saying sorry to you. Yeah, because you don't know how we play.
It was
but
looking so good there.
next time when you come next time to Africa, to Zanzibar, I will teach you more.
Thank
Only
you
today
so
I will give you one piece of mango. Let him be upon him.
Usually not such a good leader.
Yeah. This is for you.
Oh, mango, mambo, jumbo. Thank you so much. although that game looks absolutely impossible to understand, basically, you've just got to get all of your opponent's pieces. But I think I know the game, and to be quite honest, when I get home, I think I can hustle a bit. Stonetown really hit a boom in the 18th century, especially with slave trade. About 50,000 slaves passed through the market each year. So Zanzibar basically became one of the biggest slave trading ports in East Africa. But it also played such a huge role in the abolition of slave trade, because that's where David Livingstone set up his base for his anti-slavery campaign. I'm a brilliant driver. On 4 wheels. 2 wheels, not so much. Stonetown is an absolute feast for tourists. There's so much to see and do, and there's also many means and ways of doing it. So you can take a bicycle, a tuk-tuk, a motorbike, or you can rent a piki-piki if you have a driver's license, otherwise known as a Vespa. And it's my first time riding one. So this is going to be one serious journey. I'm not even big enough to start the thing. Okay, brake. Yes! Okay. I can do this. All I need to do is accelerate. I have an international driver's license, which means I'm capable of driving a car. Oh! I just figured out how the accelerator worked. Well, there you go. You don't learn anything unless you learn it the hard way. That's what I always say. Whoa! Okay, I've got it. Oh. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Stonetown is about 96 hectares, and it's populated by about 18,000 people. That is a lot of people. If you imagine how windy and connected all those tiny little streets are, you can barely fit a car, really, on some of them. Never mind my scooter. Ah, now this is a good speed. This is actually the best way to see the town. Hello. Zanzibar is known as the Spice Islands. In 1804, the Sultan of Oman fell in love with these islands and decided to make Zanzibar his capital. Jumbo, jumbo.
Next week on Top Travel, Jeannie explores the island further, shopping in the markets and visiting a farm to learn more about Zanzibar's spices. Later, she'll use them to create a traditional dish with the help of a local cook. Then things get hot in her makeshift kitchen, the atmospheric ruins of Mtoni Palace. It's then off to a seaweed farm, where she soon discovers that women's work is anything but.